I'm meteorologist Herman City. It is weatherman. It's time for Hump Day. We're getting close to Florence coming toward the coast. You can see there on the satellite picture this morning. Very well developed Category 4 hurricane coming up. Although kind of the last frames here, the cloud tops have warmed up a little bit here. So perhaps we've hit our peak of intensity as it nears the coast. Now, I will tell you something. Overnight, a lot of things changed. The European model is going in craziness, coming up here, going down in here, and going like this. Everything was kind of switched. This is. I've been trying to make this point since the weekend, even before that, I think, that it's going to come up and it's got to stall out, loop around before it ever comes in. We've had this sort of showing up in here. Now we got it kind of showing down here. So, the end game of Florence is still not clear. Okay, the models are just having so much trouble. GFS has been pretty consistent. The Europeans been winging it all over the darn place. And but what we do know is that Florence is going to come in and might make landfall, might hold up on landfall. When it comes in on Friday. But certainly it is going to be stormy along the coast. There's no doubt about it. Major hurricane along the coast. Just how far that eye gets to the coast, if it actually gets on the coast or not, it's going to depend on whether the coast gets really ripped apart or gets marginally ripped apart. But I guess it doesn't really matter. If you need to evacuate, you better get out. And then we have to deal with the flooding rains afterwards. Now, notice a couple features here. One, we got this thing down here in the Gulf of Mexico, which is going to head over to Texas and produce a lot of flooding rains there for Texas coming up. And that's going to help to kind of push Florence up a little bit. Then you have this old frontal boundary left over from Gordon, kind of sitting down like this, okay? And part of the energy that's coming through here is going to come up and around and kind of come behind Florence, all right? And then the ridge is going to kind of build up over top of it, all right? So there's a lot of things saying, okay, Florence is going to come up, slow down, kind of sit around, eventually go. Whether it goes all the way down here and then comes on up, or it goes in like this and comes on up, remains to be seen. But it does have huge implications on the flooding rains, especially for folks up here in Pennsylvania, who've had just tremendous rains, even all the way down the Appalachian Mountains in the Ohio Valley, Midwest have had tremendous rains. So those people are kind of watching things right now because the rivers and streams, even up here in Pennsylvania, still haven't recovered yet. They're still at flood stages. And, if we get Florence up here, it's a disaster. There's no doubt about it. One I've been talking about for weeks now, that the biggest concern I have is something comes up and produces, more heavy rain. Now, maybe Gordon was it. Maybe Florence is going to ice it. I don't know yet. Okay, I'm not really entirely sure of anything yet. We put out a map this morning, Steve and I, over Weather Concierge. We put one out showing Florence coming up, kind of looping around here on Friday, not really making landfall, and then finally coming in around north of Myrtle Beach as Category 3 on Saturday. Then it kind of heads out over the mountains and heads on up and toward Pennsylvania. Okay, and if that's correct, your rainfall is going to be, your heaviest is going to be here. There's going to be heavy rain here. There's probably going to be heavy rain all the way up and down the Appalachian Spine if that track remains. And certainly you can see it even goes up to central PA where they're having flooding problems now. And windfall wise, the wind's a tough one. How far inland do these 100-mile? We kind of went like this right now with 100-mile-an-hour winds. Even on this track here, Charlotte would see wind damage coming in. Okay, the European models, craziness. This is the European model. Is that the European model? That was yesterday's European model. Sorry. Let me see. What did I do with it? I put it right here. The European model had it coming down here in Georgia. Okay, and I look at that and go, what? What? Because here's the problem. Down here, all right, this is the strike number of hurricane strikes per county. And notice that there's really not that many down in here. It's really a tough place to get a strike. Now, granted, from the angle it's coming in, it could hit, but they don't normally get full-fledged hurricane strikes down here. Okay, it's just because the land and the curvature of the land, everything like that. Um, you know, it just doesn't really happen. So it's like, here we go again. If this happens, this will be like history says, okay, it's not supposed to come back here. Now history says it's not supposed to be here. It's like, so honestly, I'm kind of throwing the European away today. I just thought it was a bunch of BS and threw it away. And I like this track better. It comes up, kind of wanders around on the coast. And again, it could come inland, it could not come inland. And then eventually goes up over the Appalachians, gets picked up by the trough coming in and goes up. And we have to deal with a lot of flooding rains in the long term. That's what I like. The GFS model did go a little bit further south. It was up in here. Now it's kind of come down the coast a little bit. And but it kind of comes in and then goes up and wings it up and through here like that. Okay, I kind of like that because you get this trough out here that's got to come in, pick it up, and take it on up, and it's just my feeling on the whole thing. Okay, other issues we have to deal with real quickly. This frontal boundary is going to activate with showers and thunderstorms over the next several days already today. So there's going to be some flash flooding problems it's going to deal with from New England all the way back in the Appalachians and maybe even down in the big cities. As Florence comes up and just pushes all the tropical moisture up against it. So be wary of that we're going to deal with flash flooding problems for the mid-Atlantic states and the Appalachians out ahead of Florence because it's that frontal boundary is just sitting there and it'll activate. The QPF has sort of little marginal areas there right now. Slight risk here for the system coming in. And you can see the rainfall throughout that area. So again, something to watch as well. So a lot of things are going to happen. I mean, this is, again, I don't think there's any meteorologist that has the answers today. Okay. And I would not believe anybody right now because there's just so many things happening. I'm giving you the best guess we have right now, but things could change. Okay. Big stalling hurricanes are not easy. That's it. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen over the next 5 days with flooding problems and wind problems and everything else. So this is one just got to watch almost every single day. That's my best thing to say right now. If you're in the evacuation zones, you got to get out. Don't go playing around. I know all the storm chasers and the TV people are heading down there. You know what I mean? They're just fools, in my opinion. All right, that's it for today. I'm meteorologist Henry Marcus City.